All right, welcome back, YouTube preppers. It's Prepping Outside the Box, and I'm Josh. Today we're going to talk about a little operational security, but just right before we do, if you would, because it helps us out, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, whatever you want to do, whatever you feel like doing, it helps the channel grow, and I appreciate it. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, talking on and off comms for operational security, and there's kind of a little trifecta, I guess you could say, would be what you do. And by that I mean, and I'm not knocking on y'all, because if you're proud of what you did, it's cool. I'm not hating on you, but advertisements, stickers, things like that you're putting on your vehicle, all that kind of stuff that you're advertising in much your house and things like that, mainly like your vehicle. All you're doing is basically telling another person what you've done, where you've been, what you might have on you, right? So just be mindful of it. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying be mindful of it. Like I said, I get if you have pride in what you've done, where you've been. I get it. What you say, and by that I mean mind your P's and Q's. So you're out at a bar and you're getting a little tipsy, whatever it is, and maybe you're talking to somebody you don't know that well, or you're talking to your friend and you're just talking loud, whatever it is. Just be mindful of what you're talking about out in the open to anybody, what you've ordered. If for anything, there's a lot of thieves in the world. And that could be something that would be a little eavesdropping involved right there when they sit there and hear somebody that just ordered a whole bunch of ammo or what have you, right? So be mindful of your P's and Q's. And then what you wear. And by what you wear, mainly, I'm talking about like things like concealed carry and open carry. Now, if you've ever done any kind of like defensive tactic training with disarming someone, you know that it's not hard to take someone's pistol, right? And there's different holsters. I know you can talk about retentions and all that kind of stuff, but it's not super hard, right? Especially if someone knows what they're looking at. So I think that concealed carry gives you more of an advantage for your own security and things like that. I think it puts you at a disadvantage when you're showing everybody what you have and where it is. So just be mindful of that. And I also talk about being flashy and standing out and all that kind of stuff. And what someone sees on you is just information, really. Okay. So I'm not saying be a gray man. You know, there's a time and place for everything, but just like I said, be mindful of what you're wearing, how you're wearing it, right? All right. So the biggest part I want to talk about though is talking. So we'll go over that for on and off comms, but and I hate to do the one that says the what is that? I hate saying need to know, like a need to know situation, but information should stay with those that are immediately involved in what's going on, right? So I don't like to use that. It's on a need to know basis, but information should stay within certain cells, certain groups, right? Groups do get bigger. I would assume, I hope that you're wanting to grow your community eventually. And like I said, I was planning for down the line for SHTF, right? So groups do get bigger and trust needs to be earned. So be mindful not to share more than you need, and make sure you're sharing information with only people that are in, that patrol coming up, or they're in some supply run, whatever you're doing. People that need to know are the ones that are doing it, right? So for radios, I spoke about this before, scanners. Just know that there's a good chance someone's listening to you and knows the area probably as good or better than you. There's a good chance, right? So when you're planning or you're on the move, try to avoid using locations, street names, things like that, because the information you're passing through that somebody's most likely listening to, unless you're some lucky person that's got crypto, can be used against you, right? Don't speak on timelines. When you're doing your group size, things like that, et cetera, et cetera. There's all that operational information can be used against you. Try to plan that stuff beforehand if you can. Now I get there's the initial SHTF situation, right? Things just broke down. You're moving here. You don't have. You can have planning. You could be prepared. What we do, right? You can. But I get an initial SHTF situation, things are not as easy, and maybe not, you can't avoid them, maybe they're unavoidable. But as you get established, a lot of these things need to be considered, right? So as you've established some kind of a fob OP, whatever you want to say, just make sure that some of these things are implemented for your own security, right? Now, a great way for you guys to do this, a solution, is locations, street names. You can say call signs and stuff, but you know, if your name's Jeff, someone might just not give a crap. But street names, locations, something important to you, right? Have colored or numeric values to it, right? So you're on red route, you're heading to, you know, checkpoint 17, whatever it is. Number them, letters and numbers, colors. Do something different. Awkward names, whatever it is. Maybe you're a I don't know, a football guru or something like that. Name it something that's just gonna not even be related to it at all, right? And it's another good reason that, like I said before, learn how to read a map, learn how to navigate. So when you're sitting there and you're planning these things and you're looking in, and you know that you're heading down, you know, this route, you can tell everybody back at your little base of operations where you're at and what's going on. So if you do hit trouble, they can come out and hopefully get you, right? And we'll talk about personal recovery and things like that later on in follow-on videos. But for just now, real quick video, be mindful of your P's and Q's, right? Don't be getting a little slurry and then telling what you shouldn't, whether you're drinking or not, you know what I mean? And then just keep in consideration that color coordination or something like that as an alternate to just saying I'm heading down Jefferson Avenue or whatever it is, right? So again, it's Prepping Outside the Box. I'm Josh, and I'll see you tomorrow.